Hey, how's it going, guys? And you remember the one thing I said I liked about this new Superman Man of Tomorrow movie? The biggest thing I actually said was the time, the runtime for this movie. Because back then they told us that this movie would have a 2 hour, 20 to 30 minute runtime. The reason I said that was important is because James Gunn is introducing so many different characters. And it's hard to introduce so many different characters without a backstory, without, you know what I mean? And I always gave this example when, what's his name? Josh Whedon, disastrously, if that's a word, did the Justice League movie. And we saw the Flash and Cyborg come out of nowhere with no backstory, with no context. And it was unanimously one of those things that fans left that movie going, what the hell did we just watch? Because it felt like, number one, Cyborg didn't even have a lot of dialogue. And the Flash, I think he showed up and showed in maybe 10 minutes, collectively. So obviously, fans were not happy. Same thing happened with Black Adam. Black Adam also gave us some new characters, right? Like Hawkman. Man, Dr. Fate, Pierce Brosnan. That to me was the best thing about that movie. But there was no backstory, and obviously that movie bombed. So when he told us that he was going to give us a longer runtime because he wants to build up these stories, we all agreed that's what they had to do. Come to find out recently that they've decided to cut it down to 2 hours, or right under 2 hours. And it's because they did a test screening and it didn't really go the way they thought it would go. They've done a lot of reshoots, and you can see it right here. They've done a lot of reshoots, and I bet you a lot of those reshoots are CGI. Not only that, apparently they've decided to de-humor, remove a lot of humor, because it's James Gunn and he has a lot of Marvel humor. He's decided to cut out a lot of the humor to kind of keep it more serious, which DC is. And we've always said this. And when I tell you that these guys are pulling out all the stops, the amount of money they're spending on marketing, I don't even know. I mean, everywhere you go, Superman is everywhere. From commercials, if you're watching the NBA playoffs, to if you're on TikTok, they're doing stuff with The Rock. They're even paying content creators, some who are actually critics, comic book critics. There's a channel, I'm not going to say what channel this is. DC is actively paying them because if you go to that, I'm not going to say what channel it is, they're actively, positively reviewing not only the actors and everything DC is doing about this new Superman movie. And if you go back, they were critics. So DC and James Gunn and Warner Brothers, they're pulling out all the stops. I can't even imagine how much. To now, they've started putting out that DC, like this Superman will have the highest opening weekend of any standalone DC movie ever. Which is a really big, bold statement, right? I remember Batman vs. Superman. They had a $400 million opening weekend. That's insanity. But they said it. And listen, I've been very critical of this movie. I have, for a bunch of reasons. And I'm not going to go into them right now. If you follow me, you know exactly what those reasons are. But I want this movie to do well because we have no recourse here. We've moved away from the DCEU. You've alienated yourself from those previous actors who played these incredible characters. They don't want to do this anymore. They don't want to actually do anything with DC anymore, not because they hate it's just everything that they went through. We are forced to embrace this new direction DC is going. And James Gunn and DC and Warner Brothers, they've basically put everything, when I mean everything, into this movie. And you can tell just by everything that they're doing. The marketing, It's just insanity. I've honestly never seen anything like this. The amount of stuff that's out there for Superman Man of Tomorrow is insane. So you can tell they really need this movie to do well. And I really want this movie to do well because, and I want it to be a good story. And I want to come back here and review it and just go, man, oh man. Yeah, I might have been critical, but that's a damn good movie. Like whatever James Gunn is doing, I'm excited about where we're going. I'm not. And I am not cynical, I am skeptical. I don't want to go to being a cynic because once you're a cynic, it's kind of hard to be objective. But I am skeptical because of just what we've observed. And I think a lot of fans are like that, right? Listen, we're all giving James Gunn the benefit of the doubt, but unfortunately everything that they've put out hasn't really left this lasting impression of us going, especially if you're a fan. Now, if you're a fan of James Gunn, especially from everything he's done with Marvel, Guardians of the Galaxy, if you see this movie, it looks like Guardians of the Galaxy. So you're probably excited to go because it's James Gunn and you're a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy. But if you're a hardcore DC fan, and you've been a DC fan for a long time, you'd be hard pressed to find somebody who's extremely excited and is. But again, I don't care who it is, even if you're a diehard, Zack Snyder DCEU fan, you want this movie to succeed because again, we have no recourse here. We have no choice but to want it. But if it bombs, man, oh man. Anyway, just wanted to let you know. And I think this will probably be the last thing I talk about when it comes to Superman Man of Tomorrow. And it comes out in a month. And we're going to see. And another thing, if you're on Max, you know how DC has incredible animated movies, but a lot of DC content is on HBO Max, right? But you can't find them. But now, for some reason, between now and when the movie comes out, all these animated movies that we've wanted to see are now on HBO Max. Death of Superman is going to be on HBO Max. Sons of Superman and Batman, whatever it was, is going to be on HBO Max. All those, man, I just saw that. I saw that article today, and I was like, they're really pulling out all the stops. Right? They're really doing this because it was one of those things where I didn't understand. You're putting DC content on Max, but you're not putting all the DC content on Max. It's frustrating. Then all of a sudden, all the Superman animated movies that we love are now on HBO Max. Well, let's just hope that they pull it off because if they don't, I don't even want to know what's going to happen. Anyway, I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.